All right, guys. So we have a somewhat interesting story here, as this is really kind of two stories wrapped into one, because it involves the same chapter of Black Lives Matter. One of these stories is not surprising, and the other one is kind of surprising. And we start with a not surprising story here, as this BLM chapter out of Utah calls the American flag a symbol of hatred, only used by racist, right? So with that being said, I guess that because I have the symbol of the American flag in the background, I guess I am a racist, right? It just goes to show how empty the word racist has become. It's really an empty word. It does not mean anything at all in 2021. It's a damn shame, because that word should be reserved for actual incidences of racism, but now it's just reserved for anything that is patriotic or disagrees with the far left. So let's read here. A Black Lives Matter chapter in Utah has called the American flag a symbol of hatred, one only used by dumb racists. Again, I guess I'm a dumb racist. When we Black Americans see this flag, we know the person flying it is not safe to be around. Black Lives Matter. Utah wrote in a July 4 post alongside an image of the stars and stripes. Okay, so I guess I'm not safe to be around as well, right? According to this logic. When we see this flag, we know the person flying it is racist. When we see this flag, we know that the person flying it lives in a different America than we do. Well, I guess I live in a different America than they do, right? It might be a good idea for BLM to stop speaking for black people, because they really don't speak for black people. And I'm pretty sure most black people don't feel this way about the American flag, but for whatever reason, they think that they can just speak for all black people, and that all black people feel oppressed and, you know, have, I don't know, hate towards America. I don't think that's the case. When we see this flag, we question your intelligence. We know to avoid you. It is a symbol of hatred, wrote the chapter, with which founder Lex Scott says is not a part of the national BLM organization. Again, you know, it's funny how there's these BLM chapters, right? And there's infighting. The ones that are not in lockstep with the official BLM organization, those chapters are kind of alienated. They're kind of can just do their own thing, but they still do it under the name Black Lives Matter. Okay? Which really, again, it's just a reflection of the movement as a whole. Okay? That's how dysfunction and disorganized this whole thing is. The rant continued in the comment section and a follow-up post where the group asked why every racist wears that flag and flies that flag. Again, there must be a lot of black racists in this country, because a lot of black people do fly the American flag and use patriotic symbolism. So again, you know, this generalization of the flag, I think is really dangerous, okay? But like I told you guys, I mean, this is really just a step towards trying to get rid of the flag, trying to change the flag. That's what they're really trying to do, because, you know, they're not as smart and intelligent and as wise as the civil rights movement that came before this, right? The civil rights movement of the, you know, 1950s and 60s that used the American flag as their symbol, okay? Because they wanted to show that, hey, we're just as American as everybody else. But according to BLM, if you fly the American flag, then you're racist, which means that those people that was fighting during the civil rights era, right, they must have been racist as well. And what's also interesting to note is that those people who were fighting to keep segregation, a lot of those people, they weren't really flying the American flag. They were flying a different flag. They were flying the Confederate flag. Okay? That's what they were doing. And it's just strange to me how, you know, the so-called racists of today, they're flying the American flag. Okay? And the people like BLM who seem like they want segregation again, they're trying to fly a different flag. I don't know, man. It seems like BLM may be closer to the segregationists, right, of the old days than to the civil rights movement of the old days. I don't know. I'm just saying. Symbolism is important. Because it is a symbol of hate, this country has created genocide under that flag, the group said. And find me a country that's past has not been controversial. We will not pledge allegiance to that flag. We will not stand for the national anthem. We will not respect a piece of cloth that you respect more than black lives, the group wrote. The post quickly sparked outrage, even among the group's own leaders, BLM Utah admitted one member was genuinely hurt. You are alienating people. Please take it back. The group wrote in the comments. Duh. I mean, that's a given. Everybody doesn't feel that way about the American flag. Some people actually respect this country, even those on the left, right? I would actually imagine that a majority of them don't feel the same way that a lot of these woke extremists do. The group claims it also received death threats, closing down the comment section and vowing to donate $3 for every negative comment towards helping re-elect Progressive Squad member Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Quote, listen, Karen, confronting you in this country about your racism isn't hatred, the chapter wrote, using a stereotype for angry white women in a comment attacking critics for using repeat negative stereotypes. Quote, we will proactively destroy the systems that continue to give you the power to marginalize people of color, period. The group wrote, saying they could taste your fear and it tastes delicious. Wow, this chapter is really, really, really angry, okay? They're really feisty. Utah Republican Chairman Carson Jurgensen told the Salt Lake Tribune that the American flag is a symbol of freedom and opportunity to the world. This quote, this banner has been flown for the liberation of millions and millions who have given their lives in honor of what the flag represents. Jorgensen said, we are stalwart in support and love for the American flag and all of the good that it stands for. So it goes on to say, Utah State Senator Ted Wheeler also told the paper that the vast majority of Utahns still regard the flag as a symbol of unity and perseverance for the nation's past and hope for our nation's future. There also has been those who try to divide us. I am grateful to live in a country that allows dissenting voices to be expressed, the Republican said. Despite the death threats, the BLM group later posted a series of celebratory messages bragging about how they just pissed off every Republican in America. Quote, that was a good day. We pissed off every racist Republican in this country. It is an honor, the group wrote late Wednesday, along with a Beyonce meme signing off. Okay, sleep type insurrectionists, we love you. Okay, so this is interesting because after this post, the founder of BLM Utah actually went on Fox News and allegedly this founder, her name is Lex Scott, is teaming up with Senator Mike Lee to pass police reform. Take a look.
This is an independent organization. You started years ago. You're not affiliated with any kind of national organization. And Black Lives Matter will say there isn't one. It's a movement. It's an idea. And there is no structure from the top down. So tell us about the conversations you've been having. You say you don't want violence, but you do want to talk about real change. How did this come together that you're sitting down with the GOP senator to talk about it?
Well, I'm happy to reach across the aisle. We spoke for a while about the reforms that we're pushing for. So we're pushing for data collection, independent civilian review boards, qualified immunity reform, body cam footage legislation, and I've actually spoken with Mitt Romney about this as well. So I'm working on both sides of the aisle right now.
Okay, so Senator, were there things that you and Lex discussed that you thought, I can get behind that? These are things that we can come together around and try to move something forward.
Yes, absolutely. And one of the things that I appreciate about Lex Scott is that she's got a real commitment to this effort. And she understands that the story of America is in many ways the story of police reform. Government power is official coercive force. And so it has to be managed very carefully so that we can respect the dignity and eternal value of every human soul. That's what she wants to do, and I'm interested in working with her on it.
All right, guys. So as you can see there, I never thought that I would see a Republican outside of Mitt Romney. I mean, this guy, he's from Utah. So, I guess, hey, they're somewhat similar, okay, in ideology. But I never thought I would see something like this where such an extremist chapter would try to team up with a Republican senator to pass legislation on something they care about. And Mike Lee actually made a pretty interesting argument that I think a lot of conservatives can agree with in regards to police reform. And I've said this before in the past, guys. The police are really an arm of the government. And I think with that being said, it is important to keep a check on the government, right? Obviously, I am a back to blue type of person. I have been back to blue, but at the same time, I do recognize they are an arm of the government. So With that being said, I have a healthy amount of skepticism regarding the police, but I still support the institution because I think the institution is necessary, right? I'm not a libertarian on that issue. But in my opinion, I find this little partnership here interesting. And I'll say this. I don't think it's wise to work with extremists on the left. I really don't. I'm not sure exactly how much common ground there actually can be between the GOP and an extremist organization like Black Lives Matter. But who knows? I could be wrong. Okay, but I do know one thing. Mitt Romney tried to show solidarity with BLM, and that did not work out well for him. Okay, and it seems like Mike Lee is taking that leap of faith here, right? We'll see what actually happens. But I do think that it just all depends on how you talk about the issue, okay? And what principles you actually agree on. And I think the principles that they agree on is that, okay, we definitely should have a check on government power. That's the principle. Now, the exact details on what you agree with, obviously, they're going to be different, okay? But, I'm just giving some advice here to this founder. Maybe you shouldn't be so extreme in your rhetoric, and you shouldn't let your chapter say the things that they say if you want to win over people and people be sympathetic to your movement and what you're trying to accomplish. Because if what you want is police reform, it's not like the GOP is really opposed to it. They're opposed to radical police reform. They're opposed to defunding police or abolishing the police, but they're not opposed to trying to put a check on government power, or very least in principle. That's what they say. So with that being said, there is room there. Okay, and that's why I found this thing to be a little bit interesting here in terms of this partnership. I just think that you ruin it by saying things that are extreme and attacking the flag, disrespecting the country. And that's really what's going to turn a lot of people off from the movement. And I think these so-called leaders need to understand that, right? Nobody's going to want to come to the table to hear anything you have to say if you're starting off the conversation with, you're racist, you're dumb, you're ignorant, if you like the American flag, if you're a patriot, you blah, blah, blah. Like, nobody's going to want to hear that. But anyways, we will see what comes out of this. But let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.